Welcome to our coaching chat. We are excited you guys are on the call today, and we're going to dive into these 4 questions, and we're going to open up the lines. I'm not with it here today. Let me put everybody on mute. And then we are going to, now I can't, okay, here we go. Okay, I'm focused. We are then just going to take some time and just really chat about these questions. Just check in with everyone, see where everyone is. Let me hear you guys, what's working, what's not working, what your best practices are. So we're going to spend some time just really chatting. But I wanted to start out the call with these 4 questions just to prime the pump and get your minds thinking. The first question I want you guys to answer is, what thoughts are you having right now that you need to get rid of? And I'm going to answer these questions personally so that you can feel the freedom to share your heart. And I'm here to say this whole mindset is key for where we are right now in our world. And I'm here to be honest with you. That answer to that question, what thoughts are you having right now that you need to get rid of? I'm telling you what, my thoughts will go from one extreme to the other in a short period of time. And what I'm realizing is who I'm talking to can drastically cause that pendulum to swing back and forth. Anybody else dealing with that same thing? So what happens is I can turn on the news and suddenly it's the end of the world. No one's going to have any money coming in. Everyone's going to get sick. And I can quickly spiral down. Or, I can spend time in just some quiet time in prayer, read my Bible, and have a conversation maybe with someone else that will totally swing the pendulum back the other way. And so I'm a big news junkie, but I'm realizing that I have to take it in really small doses these days. The other thing is literally when I am spending time just in prayer, looking at my goals and what I want to accomplish with my life, and what, when times were a different time at the beginning of the year, what my heart was set on. And I got to keep going back to that. And so when I think about what thoughts that I'm having right now, it can swing. Like just now, I just got a message from one of my customers saying, Elaine, double our Juice Plus, get it sent out ASAP. What else are you doing to stay healthy? And that, that started my day with reminded me what I need to stay focused on, because it's what God has called me to do. It's what I have been for 20 years. People have been investing and pouring into me, and I've learned from so many people, and you guys too. We know what we need to do, and we can't vacillate from what we know in our hearts we need to be doing and what we need to be about. And so, first identify, where is your mindset right now? And is it maybe swinging back and forth like mine has been? And do you know what you got to do to keep it where it needs to be? So that's first question. Second question, what is your biggest fear right now that's holding you back? And yesterday I literally got up and I just thought, you know what? Now is the time for big, bold moves on my part. It's calling for it. We are in a time we've never faced before. More people than ever need what we have, both from a product standpoint and a business standpoint, desperately. And it's time for me to put on my big girl pants, step out, and really act in a fearless manner. And I did that yesterday. I literally somebody came to mind that has a large network marketing business, and their product right now, I'm thinking, I don't see people wanting to buy what they're selling. And I reached out to her and I just said, I've admired you from a distance. You came to mind. And so I'm going to put it out there. I have no idea if there's any interest on your part, but what if you took your current sales force, introduced a new product to your customers, to your sales force, and got on board with us, because now is the time people need to hear about whole food nutrition. Well, man, I was so fired up. I was so excited. I was so proud of myself that I reached out and made a big, bold move. I really don't know this person. And guess what? Nothing's happened. I've seen she's read it. She has not responded. And what do you think happened? All of a sudden, this fear, oh my gosh. So I'm sharing it with my daughter, who actually used to date our son. I'm like, can you believe this is what I did? But I'm not hearing back. And my daughter was like, well, she may have thought this when you said X, Y, Z. And all of a sudden, this fear started kind of coming over me like, dang, I shouldn't have said that. I should have said this. And then, when I was writing these questions out, I just thought, you know what? What's my biggest fear with that situation? I don't interact with her as it is. I have no relationship as it is. My heart was pure. It was good. I'm not going to let the fear creep in. Instead, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to think about a big, bold move I'm going to do today. And I'm going to do a big, bold move every single day this week. And I'm not going to worry about the outcome. What I'm going to do is challenge myself to not let anything hold me back from making those big, bold moves. Because how we become fearless is if we push ourselves to get out there and face fear and just say, you know what? What's the worst thing? There's no worst thing. Obviously our mind will take us to the worst thing, but most of the time it's not accurate. And so I want you to think about, your big, I think my biggest fear right now is thinking people think I'm being an opportunist with what's going on. But then I have to step back and say, this is what I've done for 20 years. I'm not changing anything. But yet right now is when I'm seeing how much more I need to be bold, how many more people need to hear about this unbelievable whole food concentrate and this incredible business that we have that continues to give us an opportunity to generate income in a time when a lot of people have suddenly lost their income stream. They need to know about Juice Plus. Question number 3, what's one skill, idea, verbiage that you personally need to develop to be able to move forward and make those big, bold moves? Is there something missing that you've identified and said, you know what, I really need to work on this skill, this idea, this verbiage. What is it that you need? Because when we get off this call today, I don't want anything to hold anyone back from taking action, being bold, being willing, feeling that passion, that purpose, that energy that within your heart. People need what we have. So is there anything that's holding you back that you feel like you're not prepared to take action? And then the 4th question, what action are you going to take today to be successful, to take your success in this business to a whole nother level? You guys, it's in times like this that big things can happen. And we are positioned. Our company is in a position. My Juice Plus, I swear every couple of days I'm ordering another round of Juice Plus because I want to make sure that I've got plenty of Juice Plus if anything happens to the supply chain. But the great thing is what we're hearing, keep on sharing, because we're in a position to be ready for what's coming down the pike. And so my question to you is, what action are you going to take? So for me personally, I literally said to my customer, you would have heard from me this week. My goal is really between last week and this week, reaching out and talking to every single one of my customers, or at least allowing them to hear from me in some form, so they know I care, so they know I'm thinking about them, so just to remind them they have what they need to be doing. And that is getting as many fruits and vegetables in their body, taking as much Juice Plus as they can. So that's one. And the second is I'm going to be taking big, bold actions, one a day, that will make me feel uncomfortable and reach out to people maybe that I've shied away from. So 4 questions. Let me hear from you guys. I'm going to stop sharing. Let me hear from you guys. Who's gonna talk first? Let me pull my paper out here. What thoughts are you having right now you need to get rid of?
Well, I'll answer all 4 of mine. Pretty much the same ones you had. My first one was, no one is going to do this right now. My second one was asking people to spend money. My third one was how to share when people are afraid to spending. And my fourth one was keeping my focus on God, number 1, knowing everyone can benefit from this more than ever.
All right, and what's your action, Carrie?
Like you, I think like what you just said, being bold and not being afraid to just go ahead and doing the calls, and you never know who's going to say, yes, we need this.
All right, thanks, Carrie.
I'll go second.
Okay, Tish.
I'm so glad, Elaine, that you said you've been swinging back and forth, because that's exactly what I've been doing. And I'm throwing out, positive stuff and all that, but in the background here in my head, I'm fearful. I am in fear. We can't deny that, right? Because you're looking at the numbers, but I've stayed away from watching the news, so that's helped. But my other fear, biggest fear, and it has been this way for 3 years, but I'll tell you what I do, is my fear of losing faith in the power of Juice Plus. But immediately it changes when I stop and I read the research and I listen to testimonials and I think back on all of my customers that have made huge improvements with their health. And there's just no way I can lose faith in the power of this product. So I have to fill my head with that every single day. And that's the skill. So number 3, the skill that I have to strengthen, especially now, is that voice in my head. And then number 4, be bold. And just now when you were saying, about, we need more people, we need more boots on the ground. And so I just sent 2 text messages while you were talking. Sorry, but I was multitasking because I'm like, nope, I got to do this with people that I know that would be great on my team. So that's what's going on in my head right now.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for being honest and sharing. Who else?
I'll go.
Okay, Karen.
What thoughts? Initially, like you, I vacillated back and forth. Because I've got so many people that I know that are losing their jobs, and not only customers but family members and so forth. So right now, what I was telling myself is that people can't afford this right now. They're not buying. But then I thought, no. And these calls have been awesome for me, Elaine. Because I have been doing everything that we've talked about, and it's working. For instance, the one about getting in touch with your customers and maybe tell them to possibly double up. And, I just tell them my story, that my doctor told me to double up during this time and stay in isolation. It's a good idea because of the immune support. That I sent them the bioavailability video that you shared. And another customer said, well, give me a quad, give me another one, because we're going to be doubling up. So I'm like, yay. So that's working. And then I've just been getting out of my head and talking to people about the business end of it. that, okay, yeah, you may be furloughed, but here's an opportunity for you. So I've got quite a few people, just ready to reel them in, and that's exciting. And let's see, what else have I done? So what's my biggest fear? I don't really have a fear right now, which is kind of cool because it's
Good.
getting me out of my fear mode and getting me focused. And again, these calls are helping. So what skill? Um, okay, I had a doctor who is a customer. Her husband works with my husband, and she's never really been on board. She stopped taking the juice plus, and I didn't know this until recently. She stopped taking it because she said it gave her digestive issues. I said, oh, I wish because I checked on her all the time, but she never answered. And I said, I wish I'd known that because I would switch you to the gummies. Let's try that instead. She goes, no, I'm not going to take it in any form. Thank you anyway. So I said, okay. So she asked me to cancel her order. I did. And then I couldn't get her off my mind. So I was bold and I re-emailed her and said, I haven't been able to get you off my mind. And here's why. Because I said, I know what this product did for me. I know the research, and I know you as a physician would appreciate that. And, I really, at this time with you being exposed to so many germs, would hope that you'd jump back on them to protect your immune system. And I also sent the immune system video to her. And so I haven't heard back, but I did it.
Good for you.
So that was kind of fun. And then what action am I doing? I've contacted every one of my customers more than one time, and I've been inviting them to the event on Thursday, just because I tell them I'm telling my story personally, and they may want to hear it, and both business prospects and customer prospects. So that's what I'm doing.
Awesome. I'm making a note. I'm making notes as everybody's talking. Okay, who else? Thank you, Karen. Who else?
Hi, this is Maura. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everybody. One quick question about young lady that was speaking prior. What video was that she sent on the immune system?
The bioavailability one.
Okay.
Who's the doctor?
Hang on. Let me. It's on all of my texts, so I just got to just find somebody. Let's see.
Maybe she can send it to you.
Here it is. It's the our guy. What's his name? Manfred.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Also on Team Extreme Boxer Chat, I sent out a list of about 6 or 7 doctors speaking on the immune system. So take a listen to all those, see which one you like. And you
Dr. Sears did.
One.
Yeah, Dr. Sears did too, and that was I sent that one out as well.
Yeah. So there's a lot right now. Check your Team Extreme Boxer. Maybe I'll go post it again.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'll go next if you don't mind.
Love for you too.
Okay. So what thoughts or the biggest fear is similar to you guys, not trying to come off as being opportunistic. A lot of times when things happen and all of a sudden you start, even at home, you start getting calls from telemarketers about whatever the current event is. They really want to try to capitalize. So I didn't want to come off as capitalizing on coronavirus or the issues surrounding it. But so I kind of hung back and waited a little while because it just felt like my friends would think that I was being opportunistic. So that was my biggest fear. And I guess that's really the thought that I need to get rid of. That it's not opportunistic, but it is absolutely helpful. And so last week, I actually started shedding that thought, and I started going through my contacts and contacting folks and touching base with them first to see how they're doing, how their family is, and then ask them if they're looking for something to help support and optimize their immune system, that they could feel free to contact me. I'd be happy to share something with them. So I didn't necessarily bring it up in that contact. So I just want to make contact first and then, rekindle the acquaintance if it's someone I haven't talked to in a long time. But so that's my action. Continue going through my contacts. And like in my I have like 2,000 contacts, so
Wow.
I'm gonna go through every single
You're
one.
not, you're not going to run
And-
out.
Yeah, no, not anytime soon. And I guess the skill is breathing and just saying something very simple
Mm.
about Juice Plus.
Mm.
Simple and relatable, because I tend to overthink things sometimes and then it gets big and long. So I'm really trying to work on keeping it maybe 3 sentences or less, something that they can relate to, and then kind of use that as a feeler and then see how they respond to that. And then as they respond, then I share more information. So I try not to tell them everything at once, because right now people need simple. Their brains are overloaded with coronavirus. Their brains are overloaded with the news. Their brains are overloaded with friends sending them videos and text messages. And I get a zillion of them myself from friends who are trying to be helpful as well. And so I don't want to come off as another person that's dribbling, a lot of stuff on them as well.
I'm going to pull out a word you use, Mara, that I think is really good for us to internalize and utilize. And you made the comment, feelers. You put out feelers.
Mhm.
That really is key when we're having conversations. That when my husband used to tell me, give me this analogy of circling. We live in Atlanta. He's lived in Atlanta his whole life. Circling the runway. And he said, when a plane's coming in, let's just say there's a terrible storm. They're communicating with the tower, and the tower's indicating you need to circle a little more. We got several planes on the ground, or it's not safe to land, or whatever. The tower's communicating to the airplane, and the airplane just circles for a while until they get the cue from the tower, come on in, it's safe. And I think what you're talking about there, Mara, as we're having these conversations, one is we do need, I don't believe with all my heart that people who are in Juice Plus, the income is a slow build. You don't jump in making $5,000 a month. So what I know to be true and have seen over 20 years, the people who are in this just for the money, they fall by the wayside. What happens are the people who really care about people, have a passion to influence and impact and make a difference. They're the ones who stay. The people I see on this Zoom call. And so, what you're doing is you're making that connection, you're checking on them, and you bring up, you somehow, some way, health, nutrition, Juice Plus, whatever, how you doing right now, how are you protecting, whatever questions, think through questions that you feel good about asking. And what I always kind of go back to what you're saying, Mara, is that feeling out where they are. If someone just no response, that should be a sign, you know what, they're not ready. They may be on overload, whatever's going on, they're not ready. But if you bring the topic up, however you have a question, usually I would say do it with a question. If you start getting questions back, that's a sign they're ready. They want to talk about it. They want to have that conversation. So I love the fact that you were sensitive to that, Mara, and you brought it up. So when instead of us saying, oh my gosh, I don't want to be an opportunist, when we know, kind of back to what Karen was saying, when we know what it has done in our own lives, in the lives of our customers, we need to be on this mission now more than ever. But we also have to balance that with, are people ready for that conversation? Some people will be, some people will not. And we need to be emotionally sensitive in that regard. So thank you for bringing that up, because I think people, when they feel us really being in tune with them and knowing, what questions to ask, when to back off, it's like you don't forget people that have that kind of emotional intelligence when you're talking to them. You know, I bet
Right.
you right now people are coming to mind. They're like, you know, I'm thinking of my husband saying he was on a call and he was really passionate about it. And he said he heard someone else come in and they were just so, the way that they still got their point across, but it was in a way that was compelling. And that's what we want. So thanks for bringing that up, Mara. Good point.
Okay, thank you.
Who else?
Thanks.
Who else wants to, what thoughts are you having right now that you need to get rid of? What's your biggest fear right now that's holding you back? What's one skill, idea, or verbiage you need to develop to be able to move forward? And what action are you going to take today and this week to be successful? Who else? Any or all of those questions? Theo, you've got your hand up. Did I ask at the wrong time? You may have stepped away.
No, I'm here.
Yeah. Did you know you had your hand up?
Yes, yes. Hi, how are you, Elaine?
Hey, good. Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you again. Well, you know, Elaine, you know my story. So, needless for me, at first I felt like others did with the opportunistic thing, and kind of like when you have the storms. Remember when they have the storms here in Georgia, and the hailstorms, and then you have those trucks circling around. Hey, you need your roof repaired. It's like a turnoff. But but it's like, how do we differentiate ourselves from all of the other roof guys driving around? You know, hey, you need your roof done. If people really feel that, hey, this guy or this lady is really concerned about my family, not just about the roof, but you're concerned about their well-being, they're gonna come out their door and say, hey, you know, and sit down with you, or sit against the truck and talk about, and as you're explaining the different
Mm.
reasons why you make a difference because you care about them.
Mm.
That's going to make an immediate difference, and you'll probably end up getting all those other people on the block that are concerned. And so for me, I mean, you know, my experience.
Can you just briefly, everyone on here doesn't know, and you have an unbelievable story. Would you share with everyone? Do you mind?
Okay. Sure. So basically, I'm still in quarantine right now. I was trying to come out of it, but I heard I have to still wait. I'm in quarantine for the COVID-19, and it's frustrating because, number one, I never thought I would ever be this sick. Never thought it would happen to me. But of course, working in the airport where I work, it was inevitable. And so I had an experience where, when I was admitted to the hospital, the infectious disease doctor kept asking me, Mr. Cooper, what were you doing before you came here? I don't mean work-wise. I mean, what were you doing nutritionally? And so I said, well, I was taking a product I've been taking called Juice Plus. It's a whole food concentrate in a capsule. And I explained about the 40 different fruits, vegetables, and berries, and the benefits of it. And she says, yeah, I'm familiar with that. That's why I'm in awe at how you have, I don't want to say bounce back, but I'm looking at you right now in comparison to all my other patients on the floor, and you're like, okay. I mean, in comparison, you know, you're sick, but you're not as bad as they are. And I'm telling you, you have to continue doing this. These were her words. So she was saying, you don't realize how fortunate you are that you've been doing that and preemptively maintaining your health. And I said, you know what, doc, that was, now I look back in retrospect, and I'm saying, oh my goodness, look at what I've had. Who would have known we would have this COVID-19 thing that would explode like it did? Now everybody's working from home. They're on Zoom calls. They're all of this stuff. And so now, for me, Elaine, I'm new. I'm probably the newest one here, probably. But now I'm like, it's like I've been exposed to the light that's always been on me
Mm.
with this Juice Plus product. And now I want to shine it and help other people because they need it.
Yeah.
They really do. They really
Well, that is a phenomenal story. And did you or did you not? Didn't she say that may have been what saved your life? Wasn't that her words?
Yes.
That's
she
amazing.
did.
That is
And
amazing.
even-
No doubt. No doubt at all.
Well, and you know what? If you guys are like me sitting here hearing Theo tell his story, we've got hopeful, and I wanted you to share that, Theo, because that's what we're doing, is we are helping people before they know it, get their bodies armed and prepared, because we don't know what any of us are going to have to face. And having the support, the nutritional support that Juice Plus provides, I just keep saying will give us a fighting chance. And that's exactly, I believe, what it did for you, Theo. And when we start to second guess, oh my goodness, we need to go back. Everybody look at Theo, get his face, remember his story, because that literally is what, when I start doubting myself, it's your story that keeps me, no, people need to hear this. And we know what we have in our hands is powerful, and we need to share it with everybody. So Theo, thank you for sharing. Appreciate
No,
that.
Thank you, guys.
Sandy, yes.
We've been working on this. So that's the big action. So really been working on it. We've got a little Q&A going on. We just finished recording it. And that's going to be our big action as a team. Our team, what we're doing, and anybody can share it too, is sending his story out. He's still in quarantine right now. So this is real time. And sending his story out with the verbiage of what Juice Plus is, what it can do for anybody. And then as a team, we're doing an online event. So Theo himself, being probably our newest rep, really working and helping him to his customer, to his potential, his prospects, getting his, and anybody else that wanted to also to get on this. That's my fear, is because it'll be my first real event, online event myself. So I'm excited. I'm really excited because this experience, even as tough as it is to hear, he's doing phenomenal. And we first heard this story last Tuesday. I had a team call, and it scared us all. We were, wow, it was so to see his progress in almost a week just boosts all of our confidence. Wow, we're so happy for him that he's on the mend. So we're really excited. But that's, I think, as myself, that's my big, I don't want to speak for everybody that's on our team, but that's the big action. So we're actually in the process of working out the little details right now, because we want to share his story with as many people as we can.
Good. I love it. Thank you, Sandy. All right, anybody else? Yes, Sandy. Wait a minute, unmute yourself.
There. Hi, everyone. I haven't spoken much at all. In fact, I've hardly been on these calls because of my teaching position. But now that I'm retired and I can't go to the nursing home and I'm not with my grandson today, I've been taking advantage of these Monday calls. And Theo, praise the Lord on your story. You inspired me so much. I've been thinking this all along. When you are armored with the truth, with us, it's not only spiritual, but with our Juice Plus stories. We've heard the doctors, we've seen the research. Some of us that have been on it for years know the results in our bodies. And when we have that security, knowing what it does, how can we not share with everybody? Because we know we have something. That's our gift. And that's also our tool to use, because we are armored with facts.
Mm.
And we are armored with the research. Some thoughts to get rid of. I too have been wavering back and forth. In fact, just this morning, I had a call with our financial advisor, and she told me years ago, she said, Sandy, don't worry. She said, we have the highs and the lows, but we always come back. So don't let fear overtake you. And she said, this whole deal with the loss of our incomes and savings was brought on by fear.
Hmm.
And that is different from the other way, with no jobs and nothing to do. We had the jobs. So I told her, I said, I'm hanging on to what you've always told me, you know, write it out. Don't do anything stupid. Just be secure in knowing that it's coming back. And Elaine, that reminded me also, one of the first talks that I ever had with you, I remember you telling us, touch your customers every day. That stayed with me and has stayed with me. I never let something ship without my customers knowing. And I have tried to dedicate my life to doing that, to making sure I know what's going on. The other story, I have a teacher friend who is in the hospital right now. She retired before I did, but a longtime teacher is in the hospital with COVID-19. And her order was getting ready to go out. And so I texted her and I said, your order is getting ready to go out. And aren't you glad that we are armored, our immune systems are armored with Juice Plus during this COVID-19 epidemic? And she texted back and she says, well, I'm in the hospital with pneumonia and they tested me for COVID and I have COVID. And I said, where's your Juice Plus? Well, it's at home. So, but she has been taking it. So Theo, I am really secure in the fact that she has had this armor up to this point. Her daughter, I was going to suggest that her daughter bring it to her, but she's also in quarantine, so she can't do anything. So that's my prayer, that she comes through this. The fever left last week, so she's getting stronger. She's extremely weak and sleeping a lot. So my biggest fear is I'm armored. So fear, get away from me. And I have to keep telling myself that, especially now. And I think a skill that I need to work on and to develop is the way that I connect with Messenger and on my Juice Plus page and just Facebook. I send out things to people, like you said, and several have said, if they ask questions, if they reply back to you, if they seem interested, I just need to do more of that and I need to follow up. And so that's one of my things that I want to do. I loved what you said about being a big, bold move without worry of outcome, because it really doesn't matter what the outcome is, maybe today, but as we dribble on people and we love on people and we continue to show them that we're concerned, number one, we hear what they're saying. We hear their fears. We hear what they're going through health-wise, financially, dealing with aging parents, all of those things that are going on right now. If they feel our heart and they know that we care about them, then it's not someone trying to take advantage of this COVID-19 thing. So if they say no, that just means they're not ready at this time.
Mm.
So teachers have kids line up in lines all the time. They go to the bathroom in lines. They go to classes in lines. They go to the lunchroom in lines. And if somebody's misbehaving or somebody doesn't get the fact, go to the back of the line. So that's another thing I've learned in this business. They're just not ready now, but let them go to the end of the line, and you keep circling around, Elaine. I love that visual of the plane. And that's so true. So we have nothing to fear if we have the truth, if we have the facts, if we have the research. So we just have to get off of our lazy bums and pick up the call, pick up the phone, make the call. And I'm preaching to myself here. I'm not preaching to necessarily any of you. My customers need to hear my voice. And that's my bold move this week. Call my customers and let them hear my voice and just say, how are you doing?
Mm.
Tell me what's going on. So
Excellent. Thank you, Sandy, for sharing. I appreciate it. I know we've gone over, so I don't want to go too much. I want to try to keep these as close to possible to our 30 minutes. So we're over a good bit, but I just wanted